Welcome to Heaven is Real, where we examine near-death experiences from people who say they died, visited the other side, and came back. Today's NDE comes from Kathleen, who describes meeting God and getting answers to the questions she had. One of her questions was about reincarnation, and what God answered her will amaze you. Before we start, please like the video and subscribe if you have not already. By doing so, YouTube will show you more content from me. Let's get into it. The poisoning caused distress, loss of hearing, loss of motor skills, and eventually I slipped into blackness. I immediately descended as if in a speeding elevator car. My only sensation was that of being taken downward in total darkness, total silence. When the descent ended, I was in the deepest, darkest void I had ever experienced. Suddenly, everything became clear to me. I was dead. I had been created by God. God was a reality, but I was not with Him. As it turned out, He was with me, but I did not know that yet. I tried to see but could not. I began to hear noise, and what I heard was extremely distressing and eventually unbearable. As the noise grew in intensity, I realized it was voices, the countless voices of many, many souls, saying nothing, only weeping and wailing. It was the most anguished, pathetic sound I had ever heard. With every passing moment, it grew until I imagined their numbers were in the millions. It was unbearable. I had to get out of this place. But how? I had no body and no voice. Finally, somewhere deep down in my spirit, I screamed as hard as I could. I heard my own voice echoing on and on, "God, help me." The next thing that happened was a gigantic hand came down and moved under me and lifted me out of that abyss. I was then taken up and up. The anguished voices faded and all was quiet. I saw again and realized I was passing up away from the earth. In moments, I had arrived at a certain destination and was confused. I was concerned about what had happened to me. That is, what had happened to my body. I found myself facing a group of people that I felt that I knew somehow. It seemed I had known them from a very long time ago. I knew they knew who I was. It seemed they loved me very much and were extremely happy to see me. I couldn't make out their faces, but I was sure I had known them and loved them somewhere, sometime. One of them seemed to be my grandmother, but try as I might, I could not make out her face. I kept asking them, "What about Kathy?" I was so concerned about what had happened to me. The others told me not to worry about her, my body, my former self. They told me I was there with them, and that was all that mattered. They told me I had to talk to him and pointed to a man who was off in the distance. I was immediately in his presence and we talked at length. I couldn't hear his voice, but his thoughts instantly transferred to my consciousness and mine to his. I remember asking him how I came to be here. He told me that he had created me, that it was his desire for me to be there with him. I told him this place was far too wonderful, and I knew I had not done anything in my life to deserve being there in that beautiful place with him. Once again, he told me that he had created my spirit in the beginning and had always longed for me to be there with him. I insisted to him that I was undeserving of his love and that I didn't think I should be there. He began answering questions for me. He made me understand that he created me and that he loved me so very much. His spirit passed through my spirit with his incredible love. I came to realize that the love I had just experienced from my Creator was unlike any love I had ever known on earth, even that of my grandmother who loved me dearly. Her love could not compare with the love this Father of mine had just revealed to me. I knew that he had the answers to all questions, so I began to ask him things I had wondered about the most. Why is there evil? His reply, because there is good. I asked how anyone, being what they are, be permitted to exist in this home of God. He made me understand that he knew everything about me, that I was who I was because he himself had designed me to be exactly, precisely who I was, and that whatever I was still his creation, his child, and he loved me so very much. He asked me if I knew that I was dead. I said, "Well, yes, I guess I know that I'm dead." I asked him, Please tell me, when we, your children, come into existence, do we live just one time, or do we live over and over? He said, it's like this. He took me to the entrance of a hall. We stood and looked down this long hall, and there were millions and millions of doorways leading off this hall. He made me aware that there were many choices available to me, and that choice was the very answer to the question I had asked. The choice was up to me. He made me understand that I could choose to stay where I was, that I could choose to walk down that hall and pick a door. He made me aware that picking a door would be my exit out of heaven, and I would be born again out of the womb of some woman somewhere on earth. I asked him, but how do I know what door to pick? His reply was merely that the door that I picked is my choice. He could not reveal what that life would be like. It would be a mystery. I asked him, do we have to pick another door and live over and over? That in itself would be hell to me, because what I had experienced, in large part, was very sad and distressful. He told me some people choose to go back again and again. He doesn't want them to. He wants them to stay with him, but he understands my feelings. He explained that when we choose to leave him, he removes all memories of previous lives, because he doesn't want us distressed. He means for life to be a good thing for all of us. He then reiterated all my choices, and again infused me with his love. He then asked, now, why would you want to leave me? I don't remember responding. He asked, now, how do you feel about being dead? I said that it really didn't bother me that much, but that my only regret was that I hadn't had the chance to say goodbye to my parents. The very next thing that I became aware of, amazingly, remarkably, astoundingly, was that once again, I was in my old body without realizing I had made my choice. I chose to leave my all-loving, all-accepting Heavenly Father in order to come back and say goodbye to my parents. My God, what had I given up? I became so horrified, distressed, and depressed beyond words. But here I was again back in this world. I chose the life I mapped out for myself. It's exactly what I got, to say goodbye to my parents. And so the story goes. My dad died 4 years later. I'm still saying goodbye to my mom. That's it for this video. What did you think of this NDE? Comment down below. Also check out this NDE story if you have not already. Thank you for watching.